Hey, gang, welcome back to the greatest TV show podcast.
Wow, welcome back. Episode 2 of the greatest TV show podcast, paying tribute to the greatest TV show to ever air. Isn't this awesome?
It is actually pretty awesome. I'm in awe of just how awesome it is.
Yeah, it's great. We're going to keep going with these episodes.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's good.
How's it going over there, Mike? Anyways, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's good.
How's life? What's keeping you busy?
My baby boy.
Oh, you're a cute little baby boy. Oh,
He's a cute one.
yeah, he's a bundle of joy, isn't he?
Other than that, nothing. I'm just living life, thinking about this podcast and where it's going to go because we got a gang now, and I'm excited.
You know, speaking of your son, sometimes he has that gaze. He gazes upon you, and he has not a clue what he's looking at. And sometimes,
Especially looking at me.
yeah, sometimes I put on that look, and people run away, and that's my defense mechanism. I get the people away from me with that type of look.
And that's why you only have one friend.
That's
Me.
right. That's right. Right here. That's all I need.
Aww.
So I hope everybody's doing all right out there. Welcome back to the episode 2. Thank you for coming back.
You had me at hello.
So, episode 1 of the greatest TV show.
Season 1,
Season
episode
one,
1. Bringing it
episode
all the way back to season 1, episode 1, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, going back to the opening scene in Richmond, Virginia. It's very odd for a TV show to start in another state from where it's going to end up. But that all plays into the story of the episode, right?
It's very true. Very true. Richmond, Virginia. Very artful city, beautiful city. We took place in the Richmond Coliseum. That was the main stage of the episode. Basically holds about 16,000 people. We had about 8,000? 8,000
Yeah,
extras?
about 8,000 extras, absolutely.
Handling 20 extras is a full-time job. 8,000.
For sure. Yeah.
It was fun, to say the least.
When the order goes out for that, it's a tall order, and they're very specific with how the extras should come. It was a business seminar, so they had to dress business attire.
And their own attire. They had to supply their own suits and dresses and business dresses and skirts, and like nothing was handed to them. There was no check being written. Like, I thank God that we were actors in this, just watching it happen, because I don't want that job.
Yeah, and it's like Mike said, it's a beautiful city. They had food trucks set up, and
Oh yeah.
not only for us when we were not shooting,
But I found out it's not a gyro, it's a gyro.
gyro. It's a hard G.
Gyro.
Gyro. Yes.
Gyro. Oh, gyro? I'm
Gyro.
still saying it wrong.
You still can't get that right. To all our Greek listeners out there, we apologize.
Gyro. My apologies. My Greek
So
sense.
surrounding the conference center there, you got the food trucks that were part of the show, and they were serving us when we were not shooting also. And for the 8,000 extras, I mean, that's a lot of food right there. And what else was outside there? Why don't you talk about?
Oh, there was cotton candy, popcorn, nachos. Nachos actually played a key pivotal part in my life. Not necessarily not necessarily on the air, but more or less in my life. I never lived it down. Nachos. But no, they had everything there. What's the kebabs? Kebabs. If you're in Australia, they call it kebabs.
Oh, really?
So
I didn't know
good
that.
eye, Mike. Kebab.
Oh, that's right. You went there on your honeymoon.
I
That's
did.
right.
Kebab.
That was an amazing trip. I've seen
Oof.
the photos. Beautiful.
Oh, I love Australia.
Beautiful
Australia.
country / continent.
Good eye.
There's a little geography there for you. For the young folks listening.
It's stupid.
It's the only country / continent on the face of the earth.
It's true.
What about the drummers with the buckets? Weren't those guys? They were
phenomenal.
beautiful.
Phenomenal. The talent in one of them, but there was not maybe 50, but like at least 20 guys, just
Yeah,
guys and girls,
they were
just
great. Yeah,
banging on buckets and making songs just with the buckets. It was just phenomenal. The lids and hitting the ground and hitting the sticks and hitting the bucket.
we have behind the scenes footage of that, but of course that's owned by the studios. And just to, as a matter of fact, since we forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, again for the new listeners out there, so our podcast here, Mike and I starred on the greatest TV show ever, and we wanted to bring a podcast to you discussing the TV show. And the studios could not strike a deal with us. A lot of ins, a lot of outs with that.
A lot of lawyers.
Lots of lawyers, politics.
Politics, politics, politics!
Yes, there it is. So, anyways, we went ahead and decided to do this podcast. However, we cannot mention the name of the show. We cannot use real character names because that's all copyrighted. However, we can vaguely discuss the episodes. And of course, you know, anything we discuss is coincidentally sounding like maybe the greatest TV show. It's not really the greatest TV show. It is just vaguely about a TV show that we may or may not have been on.
Right, and when you say the greatest TV show, I mean everyone immediately in their mind comes up with their favorite TV show and what they think is the greatest TV show. But I guarantee you're wrong, because the show that we're talking about is the greatest TV show ever recorded in history. So
that's great, yeah.
Just flush your brains from thinking what you think it is.
So, why don't we tell them about that nacho incident? And you can let them in on that.
It actually it's funny because that actually rolls right into the opening scene. My opening scene, my first lines in the movie were tragic. So picture this: you're in a coliseum. It's half full, but where the camera's rolled and where Al and Vinny take off, the whole section is full. Like it's picture like you're in a sports arena and you have your arms are full of all the food and drinks for your group or your girlfriend or whatever, mm-hmm. and you squeezing through these tiny little aisles. So here I am. So the opening scene is we're at this motivational speaking seminar. We can't disclose the name of the actual speaker. But the
seats are first come, first serve.
First come, first serve. Everyone has their own suit that they brought from home. I mean, dressed to the absolute nines. I wouldn't say it was black tie like tuxedo, but you get my drift. Suit and tie, mm-hmm. the whole nine. So, Al came down to Richmond with a group of friends who got tickets to the seminar, and unbeknownst to him, they were mutual friends of Vinny. And unbeknownst to him, Vinny had an entire section of seats reserved. So Al, before the seminar starts, everyone took their seats, and Al said, "All right, what do you guys want to eat? Before we sit down, you guys grab the seats. I'll just wait in line at the concession stand and get what you want." So he did that. So now here comes me, here comes Al into the correct section, walking down the aisle, and got my hands full. I got nachos, I got a gyro, I got drinks, I got popcorn, and I'm, lackadaisy through a whole aisle of people, watching my feet. Don't step on this one's head, don't step on this one's books, don't step on this one, don't step on this one. And I see this guy who was Vinny flailing his arms around. "Hey, Al, over here, Al!" And I'm like, who is this? He doesn't know my name. Who is this guy? And in my confusion and looking at him in my surprise, I didn't realize that my left arm was tipping, and the nachos in my arm just tipped and fell on the head of this poor woman.
Oh, yeah.
All over her. And that was not scripted.
Not scripted at all, no.
But you guys remember the scene.
Yes.
As you thought that was scripted and hilarious. It was not.
No. And you had to take care of a little bill.
I had the
also.
dry cleaning. I had the salon. It was the whole night.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, so that sets up, the opening scene. It was hilarious. Vinny's character is the take care of character. He takes care of things. You need seats? Vinny will get you seats.
Vinny, he had about oh God, 3 rows taped off, like legit taped off. It was like, oh, I got this over here. I'm like, who is this guy? He's either a really, really big deal, or he just happens to know everybody. I don't know. So I was like,
shows off.
Or he just shows off. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm just gonna pretend he's a big deal and just respect him and just go from there.
So our mutual friend Greg, this is the guy who connected us. He knew us separately.
Connect the dots.
Dots. So he knew us separately. He brought us to these seminars, and he happens to know that we're looking for a place to live, to move. We are, my house was being sold that I was living in, so I needed an apartment. Mike was moving out from his roommates at the time, and we needed a spot. So Greg had a hot tip on an apartment in Lodi, New Jersey.
Little floater out there for you guys.
And the location scout had...
Shout out, not floater. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Lodi.
Shout out to Lodi. Lodi is a nice little town in New Jersey, and they had scouted this place out for the TV show. They had it lined up, and Greg knows that we need apartments.
Yeah.
And
a place to live.
Right. He knows Al and Vinny very well.
He knows their personalities.
He knows their personality. He knows a lot of the people that he's put in these seminars. And he thinks and feels very strongly that we would make good roommates. So he starts talking to us separately.
Right.
And setting us up.
Right. So while I'm getting the food, he's been in Vinny's ear, like, oh, this guy Al, I can't wait for you to meet him. He's this great guy. Really trying to, really sell Vinny on Al without, being... Nothing wrong with that, but the other spectrum, but more like friendship.
And, of course you can remember from the TV show how all that went about, and how he put us together. And
Forever.
Forever.
So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with the Together Forever part. It's episode 2 and on from there. Let's get back to the conference.
Right. We'll bring it back to the conference. So the conference, these are...
Conference. Say it again.
Conference.
Thank you.
The tickets for these...
Tickets.
Ticket? What'd I say?
Tickets.
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 Okay, stop making me second guess myself, mister.
I'm Walter Cronkite.
The tickets for this conference.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Anyway.
They're a hot commodity.
Yes, they were.
And so, since they're such a hot commodity, you have some folks who sleep in their seats overnight. They bring the blankets, and they just pop a squat.
Yes, they did.
Right there in the Coliseum.
Well, pop a squat, you mean the bathroom?
Hop a squat? Pop a squat?
Pop a squat means they actually took a shit.
No, it just means you're claiming the seat for your...
I claim this shit. I mean my seat in the land of my bowel movement. Let me pop a squat.
Yes.
Or actually, I think Papa Squat means the lady is being. Sorry, excuse me.
Whatever.
I misspoke.
Big W. Whatever.
Anyway, no, they did not pop a squat.
They were squatters? How about that?
I guess that's
squatted.
Better. Yes, they squatted. They
Fine.
pulled a blanket out and went to sleep on their chair overnight. So instead of spending money on a hotel, some of the extras decided, because they had not the extras, but the director decided to portray the scene as it's a 3-day event. So you get this hot commodity ticket, and he wanted to convey that some people misinterpreted the 3-day event ticket as, why don't you know hotel? I can sleep in my seat. So they brought blankets and pillows.
I thought that was a funny part of the show. That was really funny. And then, of course, you had the scenes where you had a few extra people in the hotel room and not enough sleeping spots.
Not enough room in the bathroom.
So some people sleeping in the bathtubs and on the floor and
in the tub.
in the tub,
under the bed.
Under the bed.
In one instance, we had somebody sleep under the
boardwalk.
Out
Having some fun. I don't know the lyrics.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
back to the show. The hotel. So we had people. I don't know. You had a double bed, which I guess is sort of like a full or a queen. And you had 2 or 3 guys sleeping in one bed, but there was 2 beds, so that's 6 guys right there. Plus, some would bring sleeping bags, so you'd have guys on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, God forbid you had to pop a squat in the bathroom overnight.
Yes. There it is.
You were going to trip over somebody.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And you're going to wake the guy up who's sleeping in the bathroom tub.
Oh, yeah, these scenes were fun. Fun to shoot. Of course, you remember from the show all the antics that were going on.
And if you do recall, it may not have... I don't remember if it was portrayed that way, but there was no alcohol involved in the scene, in those scenes.
Yeah, there definitely was no. It was a motivational speaking seminar. People were pumped up. I mean, they always ran late till 11, 12.
Started at 9 a.m.
Yeah, all day long event,
till
right?
1 a.m.
That's what we made it seem like on the show, and then of course you get back to the hotel room, you're all pumped up and excited,
positive energy.
Oh yeah,
like the Ghostbusters 2 positive slime.
And you don't go to sleep for a couple hours.
It could move Lady Liberty. Well, it moved 12 guys in one room.
That was funny. Good
Thank
times.
I am funny.
And so going back to our trailers, at the end of the day, sending the extras home,
right?
And then they had to return the next day. That was always fun.
So I get to my trailer after day 1 of filming, and
after the nacho incident,
right? And I walk in, and my trailer is completely filled with nachos. There's nachos in the actual cardboard carton, like a full order of nachos, and those are all over the place. And then there's nachos that are with cheese just thrown all over the walls.
In the sink.
So, assholes, this had to be Vinny. Because assholes actually took nachos, a set of nachos, and put it under my pillowcase in the pillow. Inside the pillow, like in the pillowcase over the pillow. Nachos. Oh, it was nice. I guess that was a welcome to stardom, Al Michael.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the future greatest television show, dickhead.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
And nachos.
Oh, that's great. Good times.
Great oldies.
Yeah.
Cool 101.1.
So, by the way, are you still afraid to eat nachos?
No. It took a couple of years, and I've come to the conclusion: as long as the nachos are on a 4-legged table, I can eat them confidently.
So you're not afraid of the nachos?
I'm not afraid of nachos anymore, but I definitely used to be. I had a fear of nachos.
Oh boy, that's funny. So then we had Greg hounding us throughout the episode, as you remember.
Yes, hounding. You remember that?
Yeah, that was funny. The actor who played
he was
Greg,
so good.
very good. Greg's
played that part perfect.
Greg's character, once he gets an idea in his brain, he does not let it go.
No.
And he keeps after it.
And after it. And after it. So yeah, he had me basically cornered me like like Steve Irwin would corner the most poisonous snake in the world. Oh, that's the most poisonous snake in the world. Let's poke it in the corner. Poke it with a stick. Crikey. This is the most poisonous snake in the world. Just poke it with a stick. And that's what Greg did to me, to Al. Basically cornered me.
And Vinny as well. Yep.
Yeah, but I was off scene on that one, so I didn't. I'm just talking for Al.
Oh, right.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry for the
interruption.
So basically, he cornered me. Was like, so you need a place to live? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna be moving out soon. You need a place to live. You need a new roommate. You need a roommate. You need a roommate. It's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna buy a house or I'm gonna. You need a roommate. I know a perfect roommate. You need a roommate. I'm like, you guys remember that whole scene? It was definitely intense. Sorry, Anthony. Go ahead with yours. With him cornering Vinny. Sorry. Didn't mean to take your thunder.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, he just kept hounding me all episode, about...
He hounded me too. He hounded Al.
He had a perfect roommate for us, and turned out to be the perfect roommate. But, of course, you can't tell at that moment. He's trying to sell us to each other. And it was a great scenes throughout the episode.
Absolutely.
Of Greg.
And it just set up the entire series. The whole first and second episode just completely lined up the entire series perfectly.
Yeah.
Which actually, so we're going to basically on that note, we're going to be closing out episode 2 here of the podcast. And episode 3, we're going to talk about season 1, episode 2, the groundbreaking move-in episode. Everyone remembers that episode.
Yes.
I think Anthony can go into more detail on the actual...
Well, we have a record on that show.
There it is.
It is the most watched second episode of any series ever. Most watched second episode.
So does anyone understand the concept of that?
Let me explain. Of all the series out there that have ever aired, the second episode of our series was the most watched of all those series.
So not the most watched episode in TV history, just the most watched second episode of a series.
Right. Exactly.
Which set the pace for the rest of the series. Because
exactly.
we were the most watched series in television history.
I love that. I love that fact. It's just
it's a funny fact.
It's great. Most watched second episode.
So thanks, gang, for listening to episode 2. And we're going to take you to a quick commercial break.
Not a commercial break.
Commercial ending.
We have a sponsor.
We finally have a sponsor.
And just hang tight and check it out.
And thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of the Greatest TV Show Podcast was brought to you by the Greatest TV Show Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a new podcast about a show that we all love, starring those two great actors, Michael and Anthony, playing Al and Vinny, just tune in to the Greatest TV Show Podcast. You're going to laugh your ass off.